Given the current administration's stance on immigration, the subject matter of our next honoree is more important than ever. The documentary Forbidden, Undocumented, and Queer in Rural America is the story of the incredibly articulate Moises Serrano. Moises came to the United States with his family from Mexico in 1991 when he was 18 months old. As he grew up with his hardworking parents, he found out that he couldn't get a driver's license, but he could be deported for 10 years for not having one. He couldn't get health care or public benefits, even though he paid taxes. And he couldn't go to Sarah Lawrence College, even though he was accepted, because he couldn't get a student loan. Oh, and by the way, he lived in rural North Carolina and he was gay. Moises decided to come out as undocumented in 2010 and no longer live in the shadows. And when he lobbied his representatives for DACA, he was told, "We don't have to listen to you. You can't vote." This documentary shows how incredibly complicated and frustrating our immigration system is, especially post 9/11. And that even though we are a country of immigrants, we were also built on a basis of inequality, on the backs of slaves without rights. A happy end note is that Moises is part of the graduating class of 2018 at Sarah Lawrence College. Please take a look at this deeply engrossing story which aired on Logo.
When I was little, I was enchanted by Lady Liberty. I would always ask my teacher when I was 8 or 9 years old, I was like, "Teacher, what does Lady Liberty have on her notebook?" Because that's what I thought it was. And my teacher told me, she said, it was, "Give me thy weak, give me thy poor, give me thy huddled masses yearning for freedom." And I knew that Lady Liberty was talking about my family and about my community. I just knew that in my heart, so I felt welcomed and I felt special.
The Center for American Progress has estimated that there are approximately 53,000 DREAM Act eligible youth in the state of North Carolina, and if these 53,000 students were to go to college and obtain a 4-year degree, the economic impact of that would be $7.8 billion in additional revenue to North Carolina. Let me say that again. If 53,000 students go to college, that would be $7.8 billion in additional revenue.
It's tuition! When do we want it? Now!
I think, if I'm reading this right, $68,000.
Holy shit, you're definitely going now. That's a full ride. Is that a full ride?
You're giving me a full ride scholarship.
Television Academy honors Forbidden, Undocumented, and Queer in Rural America, accepting as Logo's Vice President of Documentaries, Taj Paxton, joined by Moises Serrano.
Oh, okay, so I'll go first. You know, they say it takes a village to raise a child. In my case, it has really taken a group of dedicated women to raise a man. And so I would like to thank all of the women who have helped me in my journey, some of them who are standing right behind me, some of them who are back there, some of them who are back home in Greensboro, North Carolina. What Forbidden shows is that the elite in power may try to strip away my rights as a queer man. The elite in power may try to take away my rights as an undocumented man. The elite in power may try to take away my humanity by using anti-immigrant rhetoric as a Mexican. But something that the elite in power will never be able to do is to take away the power of my story. And that is something that unites each and every single one of us in this room here today. We each have a story to tell. And when we share those stories with one another, we will realize that there are fundamental threads weaving all of our narratives together. And we cannot win a struggle for equality as divided movements. Nobody in this room is free if some of us are still in cages. Thank you so much.
It's very easy to see why we wanted to support that film. On behalf of Logo Networks, we want to thank the Television Academy for this very distinguished honor. I want to especially thank Moises Serrano Cruz for his courage. I think of the quote that the ultimate measure of a man is where he stands in times of chaos and controversy, not in comfort and convenience. At great risk to himself and to his family, he allowed himself to be filmed, for this film to travel all around the country, and at every moment, his status was in danger. Because of his courage, it inspired the courage of all of us standing here. Tiffany Reinard, the director, Heather Matthews, the producer and the editor, and I want to give a special thanks to everyone at the network who supported this. Some of you are here tonight, Jay, Mike, Jonathan, Chris, Brandy, Margaret, all of us under the leadership of Pam Post. And I especially want to thank the filmmakers and creators in here who use our voices for these platforms and for these purposes. Art is not accidental, it's not incidental, and it is not tangential to the work that we're doing in the world. It is highly important, and I just encourage us all to have the courage of Moises, to continue to stand in the face of chaos and controversy, and to employ the greatest of virtues, courage. Thank you.